How you doing out there, folks? Welcome to a drink and a wink. Well, kind of an introduction to a new little series we're going to do. Little kind of hootenanny we're going to have here. I was talking to a couple of people that are drinking and wink members in real life, and they're kind of saying, "Hey, you know, hey, back it off on your America stuff. You know, make it, try to stop getting political." So, what we're going to do here is we're going to feature a whole bunch of things involving America. So, with our new Americanarama series. So, what we're going to do here is we're going to set aside all the other world whiskeys, and we're going to talk about some of the American whiskeys that we love. Also, we're going to start talking about a new topic. We haven't really talked a whole lot about American Single Malt Whiskey. I've mentioned it a little bit. I'm going to tell you more. And this is upcoming, and I'll explain that a little bit more. But before I get into that, we're going to start the Americanarama series. I'm kind of joking. I have 2 shelves of some of my favorite American whiskey here. Whiskey Acres. I just talked about Journeyman. We have plenty. I've talked about High West ad nauseum. Love that place. And I've talked about a good many, Kentucky and Tennessee whiskeys as well. I love them. I'm going to talk not about the big, huge conglomerates who are trying to give you whiskey that is, for my estimation, subpar, and kind of marketing the kind of angry bourbon drinker. I don't know why. Just kind of, this kind of like bourbon, meathead stuff. I want to focus on some companies that kind of still put out some products that I think taste good, and maybe dial that back a little bit. There you go. That's my goal. Like I said, I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a second. But with any good series that we start moving into, got my blue shirt on, got an American Whiskey Company, the Whiskey Acres Company in DeKalb. But if you're starting a new series, you got to start with a theme song. Now, I am on a very low budget here, and I don't use AI, so here it goes. No, see, this is not one of those other whiskey channels where everyone gets on with their beards and their hats and their chains and 50 Shades of Gray and or black and leather and all that, and get their bourbon on and tell you why they don't like every other bourbon than the 4 of them that they like. But anyway, we still need that theme. All right, so we are steeped in Americanarama. I'm having fun with that. What we're going to do here is today we're just going to talk about one American Single Malt whiskey. This is a category that has been growing in recent years. Started off predominantly by this company right here. We're going to talk about that, McCarthy's American Single Malt. What I'm going to do here is today we're just going to talk about one of them, Stranahan's Blue Peak, which we just got last week and have been enjoying. For the most part, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my hands on a few more things here and maybe get some samples of small bottles of some other ones. And we're going to talk primarily about American single malts. Now, if you aren't familiar with this, this has been a growing kind of a new category in American whiskey. And what I'm going to do is, also, no bones about it, I've been telling everyone that I kind of want to move over to YouTube for more of my featured content, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually shoot like a semi-professional. I'm going to shoot a feature on American single malts I have a nice little small collection here right now, but maybe get one more and shoot that, and I'm going to have that up before our 4th of July celebration, or everyone's 4th of July celebration, and the 250th birthday of the country. So that's my goal. I'm kind of previewing that also because I would like to get more people into that the YouTube channel for Drinking a Wink. It just is a little bit easier for me to do features on there, and I don't really want to do features where I'm actually doing a little video editing, a little bit of other more information to put it up on Facebook. So if you haven't yet and you have some interest in what I'm doing, I didn't tick you off with my weird America thing, I'm just horsing around a little bit. It just seems like every other video that I watch now with whiskey reviewers, we got to dial all that stuff up, okay? I'm not going to do that anymore. And always remember that for us, and for me especially, there's a lot of people that give you reviews. I like to be a little more informative, so I always call it an info review. I'm not going to go real deep at American Single Malt Scotch whiskey today, because that will obviously be part of the feature. But very, very simply, just to kind of get you an understanding of what's going on here, is the idea here is early on in this country when whiskey started being produced, barley was not the easiest thing to grow overall, okay? So rye and corn were in abundance, and barley kind of fell by the wayside. So there wasn't a lot of barley making in the whiskey industry. And let's face it, a lot of times the materials that are used to make whiskey are sometimes byproduct of other agricultural efforts. So that's that. Like I said, going to go more in depth. I encourage you to check out the single malt whiskeys, the American Single Malts, and see if you could maybe, next time you're buying some whiskey, try that instead of a bourbon and all that. Also of note, a lot of these small kind of craft distilling companies, such as Stranahan's and High West has one, and I don't know if nobody pronounces this right. I'm going to say Balcones from Texas, the Balcones distillery, which makes a lot of these smaller distilleries have their American single malts out. Some of the bigger companies now are also trying to produce American single malts. They might be delicious. I think if I'm not mistaken, I think Old Forester or maybe Woodford, one of those companies from Brown-Forman has one out. I'm not saying that it's bad or good. I haven't had it, but I would just recommend, if you want to listen at all, that maybe check out one of these smaller companies. I'm going to give you, in these preview, some of them to check out, and today I'm also going to mention one. I'm going to actually mention all that I have here. I'm only going to review the one. One of the companies that's ubiquitous is the Stranahan's. Their flagship has been this yellow labeled one, and as they've come on board now, they do have some age statements. Again, American Single Malt means that they're just making this out of malted barley. Some of them, like the Scotch and to a lesser degree Irish whiskey industry, will sometimes do a peated version, like McCarthy's, meaning it's going to be like a peated Scotch whiskey to a certain degree. Again, some of these companies do all the malting on their own, and they're only using American barley and then malt it. Some of them import barley, like McCarthy's does for this bottle. They import Scottish barley, peated Scottish barley. So that's how it kind of works. Three companies right now that we have is, again, this McCarthy's. I've had this McCarthy's around for a while. This is a very early on. This was bottled in 2014. My cousin gave this to me a long time ago, and I kind of put it to the back of the shelf because I was probably being a little bit, dismissive of that. But we've had this from time to time. It's tasty. There's no doubt about it. Oregon Single Malt, McCarthy's. This company has been sold to a slightly bigger company, and they have all kinds of different types. They now have some with some age statements on there. Interesting stuff. Check out McCarthy's. I can say that's one that's very popular. the Balcones over here. This company puts out both American single malts and bourbons, and does ryes and four grains. They're a really interesting company. They're from Texas, and they have a very strong reputation in the American single malt. They've all kind of been leading the charge to get some, I don't know if regulation is the right way, but some kind of guidelines, which I guess another form of regulations with the TTB to get some more uniformity in what American single malt means and what you're getting when you buy a bottle that's stamped as such. Little tip, if you can find it right now, there was a box. I found this. So this Lineage is kind of one of their core ranges. Gets a lot of good reviews for the money. I have not opened it yet. You see it's still sealed. But that runs usually about $40. I was finding on the Binny's website, I had to drive to one of them that I go to sometimes, but not the ones I go to the most. This little box that had the 750 milliliter of their Lineage, this bottle of their pot stilled single malt whiskey. I don't know what the at a higher proof, 50 milliliter bottle. One of their bourbons, actually oddly a pot stilled bourbon there, which is pretty interesting, and a cool imitation. I don't know if it says Glencairn. I don't know if they got the licensing for this. I don't hope I don't get anyone in trouble. But a nice Glencairn. This whole package was $40. So check that out. But again, it's going to be a little harder to find. So you're looking for Balcones Lineage, and then you will see this little gift box. But today we're going to talk about another company. I mentioned Stranahan's. Stranahan's, again, I can't remember if there's a name to it. Their yellow label is the one that you're going to see in a lot of stores. I see that in grocery stores here. See it in the Pride store out in the northwest suburbs. But I bought this kind of on a whim. We had a little gathering last week, family gathering, and I wanted to bring something there. And I was like, you know what? Let me bring something American. And I brought Stranahan's Blue Peak. Stranahan's is a company from Denver, Colorado. Like I said, look for this label. This one was a $34 whiskey. It was on sale when I bought it, but usually around $34. This is bottled at, I think, 43 ABV. Yeah, 43 ABV. Pretty cool American single malt in the heart of Denver. What's interesting about the Blue Peak, okay, is reportedly 3 to 4 years. There's no age statement on it. But these kind of companies, when they make that, are going to try to follow that age structure that single malt Scotch whiskey does. Anyway, there you go. Okay, that's it. Blue Peak. Like it a lot. They do, on this one, they do what's called a Solera finish. Now, that's a little bit confusing. If you don't know what that is, this is coming from the sherry bodega world, okay? The idea of Solera is you have, I guess what this is probably done is this is being aged in probably used oak barrels, could be bourbon barrels or whatever. And then what they're doing is they're finishing it by putting it in what's called a Solera cask or a Solera barrel. That's going to be a much, much bigger barrel than what you would find for aged whiskey, okay? Much bigger. And the concept of the Solera is you take some distillate, some aged distillate, you put it in there, you fill up, you keep on filling up the Solera barrel. That mingles with some younger stuff, but then it all gets kind of to be a certain age, and then you, again, it's aging in a barrel. It's not aging in a vat, a metal vat. It's still getting something from this larger barrel, this thing that would hold sherry. So what happens is then they will empty some of that and then bottle some of that. But essentially the idea is that the barrel never goes empty. So when they do what we might consider a dump of that barrel, that's what it's called, then they're leaving some of that in there. They do a limited run. That's why this says on there a limited run. Let me tell you about this. They tell me it's rich and mellow. Let me tell you. On the nose. Fruits, nuts, more fruits. There's a nice little way to describe it that I heard from another video here. There's a little bit of wood in there, but not just cask wood. Imagine when we talk about fruits. Normally we have cherries around here, but we don't have cherries on this table. Usually when we smell that fruit scent, imagine if you're eating a cherry, okay, and you get a little bit of the stem, all right? That little flavor, that kind of wood-ish flavor, okay, because it is essentially wood, right? I guess, maybe. I don't know, phylum. I don't know what a stem is on a fruit. But imagine a little of that on the nose. That scent of not just the fruits, but actually the stem is on this nose. At 43%, this is a pretty nice pungent nose for something that's not overpowering ABV. Again, this price point, we're not going to get 46, we're not going to get 50, stuff like that. All right, let me try it. This is very tasty single malt. It reminds me of, let's put it this way. There are some Scotch single malt Irish or single malt Scotch whiskeys that no age statement that I would pick over this. There's no smoke on this at all. That's not what they were going for. But there's plenty of sherry notes here. The cool thing about this is, again, there's a woody note. There is a malt note. You get it. But then there's this... It's just a real big fruit punch. I really like this. I don't mean fruit punch like sweet fruit punch. There's a fruit punch kind of thing going on here. A longer chew gives you more earthy notes, gives you a little bit more, I kind of explain it in tastes. I don't want you to think there's anything old in here, but the best way to think of it would be kind of like describing certain nuts, right? There are some nuts. A macadamia nut gives you this big macadamia nut, pond nut. Anyway, Christopher guessed there for a second. Sorry. Where was I at? Yeah, macadamia nut gives you these big, bright kind of vibe, and you get that nutty flavor, but it's kind of bright and right? Then there are other nuts, like maybe a walnut, chestnut, that give you this like older feel, you know what I mean? White meat and dark meat and chicken, all right? And I'm going to have some chicken in a second. Just if you taste and swallow real quick, you don't get that second wave of flavor. If you hold it for a while, which I always recommend doing, we sometimes call it the Kentucky Chew. Let's call it the Colorado Chew. Okay? It brings out just these extra flavors that I really dig. The only thing I might lose a little bit here is in the finish. Usually with most no age statement single malts, I'm talking about a lot of Scotch here, you might get a little bit more of the cask, and you get that flavor. I won't know the cask flavor until this glass dries out, to be quite honest. But this is very tasty, and I'm really glad I bought this one. well-made product that it has enough complexity that it's not going to be too sweet for you. It's not going to be too fruity for you. It has a little bit of earthy vibe. There might be a little bit of a mint note that I did not mention in the first point. They're really tasty. I really like this. But it is, again, a little bit handcrafted at high altitudes. American Single Malt producers are going to tell you that their location, whether you're in Texas or Colorado at high altitudes, or in Oregon, or in Pennsylvania, or in Illinois, or in Michigan. Actually, I don't know if anyone's producing one in Illinois, because I remember this company, I talked to them, they were talking about an American Single Malt, but they have not done one yet. We'll see. They're all going to tell you that their location and their terroir, to use a wine term, makes it age faster than if it was in Scotland and all this kind of stuff. I don't know anything all about that. All I know is Stranahan's Blue Peak, good stuff. For the money, I'd say you're really going to dig this. It'll also be good as a replacement for some Canadian whiskey if you're making some drinks. If you're going to use Canadian whiskey, that obviously has a big rye usually has a rye content here. This one might be an interesting twist on that. All right, so check that out. If you're going to ask me at this price tag, am I going to drink this over, what would be a good example? I think, here, let's put it this way. I haven't done a complete research here, but right now, we're seeing the overinflation of bourbon prices now, a little bit, as to what you're getting, meaning that they're, the mass marketing or mass manufacturing thing is kind of up, and we're paying more for that. Like, as they dial it in, they're able to make the stuff a little quicker in bourbon and rye, perhaps, especially the bigger companies again. We're paying some extra money that I don't really see. Here, I think we're getting the opposite thing. They want this to take off because they just want a different... Again, these companies benefit, small companies benefit because you're buying their products. Bigger companies want to put this out because I've fallen for it many times. You have one distillery. Whiskey Acres is a great example. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different expressions from Whiskey Acres. It behooves any company, small or big, to have more expressions out for the whiskey curious to buy more of their product. But here with the American Single Malt, I think we are getting some value, if it suits our taste, some value in terms of ABV and quality levels, because they're trying to get us to get it. I mean, bourbon has caught on. Rye has caught on. This is going to take a little while, but if you're interested in that stuff. Second point is, these things equivalent right now, like I don't know that I could think about it. Maybe I don't know that a no-age statement single malt Scotch whiskey, I don't know that I could name one right now at this price tag that I would say, yep, okay. Right now, this is in the price range of, even in single malt, not blended, but single malt. Well, let's say blended. Let's talk about blended. No, let's go single to single. For this one here, there's not that many that you're gonna get Auchentoshan in Scotch whiskey, Glenmorangie Original, which is 12 years old, for a few more dollars. I'd probably take that over this, but just for interesting sake, Stranahan's Blue Peak is really, really tasty. I like it. I like the idea of using the Solera cask process there to kind of give it some extra depth. That's what they're doing. Go America. I like it. So far, I'm happy with everything. So I don't know that I'm going to do any more of short videos on the American Single Malt, because I'm going to do this feature. I might, come back with some other stuff. But that's what I'm doing. I'm also not going to wait to the 4th. I'm going to bring some of these up here for you to check out. Right now, so far, I've told you Stranahan's Blue Peak is a nice value American Single Malt. I have never had their 12, but I hear good things about that one. Or not 12, their yellow label. I don't know if there's an H statement on there or whatever. Check it out. Right now, if you can get a hold of any McCarthy's, these have jumped up in price a little bit because they became very popular. But check out that name. The labels are going to be a little different. They also have a bunch that are finished in some different types of sherry and port. Just remember that, I think, check your label if you're buying McCarthy's. You're going to find it. That's probably, I'm showing you the three that you're probably going to see. There's one exception. Remember that McCarthy's, for the most part, if check your label, they're doing a little bit of peated whiskey. So if you're not a fan of peated whiskey, watch that before you buy a McCarthy's. I will say that this is peated and it's not overpowering. It's very good. Balcones, check them out. The Texas Distillery. The other one that you're going to see quite a bit is Westland. Westland, there's a lot of Westland American Single Malt fans. I will say that this one got a really extraordinary review for the price tag. This one got some good reviews too as well. Everyone loves McCarthy's. Westland, mixed reviews. I don't know. I just want to let you know that based off what I heard, I had choices when I bought this. I could have bought a Westland. I bought this instead, the Balcones instead. There you go. I hope you take this all, that I'm being very much tongue-in-cheek. I do like a lot of products that come out of the United States, all right? I just like, right now, I'm just kind of, everywhere right now, I've just seen some things with the major companies that I'm not really understanding. We're closing up shop. We're doing these different things. We're trying to merge. It just seems like they've taken the eye off the ball of why they've become popular, and now they want to kind of. Anytime I'm seeing a company that's more interested in mergering than making whiskey, I'll go somewhere else. We have all these fine companies. All right, American Single Malt, American Single Malt Whiskey. Check out, look out for my feature on that. It's going to be fun. It's a really cool, interesting topic. There's some stuff that we want to know. There's some stuff that just kind of ticks all my boxes in terms of people trying to do something at a small level. And really, my thing is, if it looks like you are trying to put out a nice quality product, this is music, this is whiskey, this is food, this is everything, and you want to make a profit on it, I'm all in. All right, that's it. Okay, cool. All right, shirt. It's nice. It's a nice color blue. This shirt don't peel.